Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Okay, we're back. Well, what about raising kids that other people want to be around? Well, now there's a book title for you, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. We're delighted to have with us right now Richard Greenberg. He's the father of four. He's a blogger and the author of Raising Children That Other People Like to Be Around. How you doing, Richard? Good to see you.
I'm good, Perry. Thanks for having me on. Good to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. And this side of grass is always good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Well, listen, what made you take this on?
Well, you know, I saw a lot of kids who were disrespectful and misbehaved, and it sort of drove me crazy. And I said to my wife, how can parents allow their kids to behave like that? And she said to me, I just think they don't know what to do. And, you know, there are a lot of people who joke about the fact that nobody ever wrote an owner's manual for having children. And so, you know, I said, well, I'm going to set about trying to write an owner's manual for kids. And as I did that sort of more and more, it got sort of more general and clearer to me, and it became sort of issues of common sense. And so what I did was I tried to write this book that would break this down from a very male point of view into easy to follow sort of steps that could give a parent the kind of confidence that I think parents need to lead their children to a life that is grateful and happy and truthful, but in which the parent is the authority, in which they respect their parents and look up to their parents because their parents are setting a good example.
Wow.
For example.
So you said something that was very interesting, and I'll turn it into a question. Do you think most parents have the confidence they can do that? Well, I wrote the book because I think that the ones who don't need a little help, and some do. But I think, you know, what I've done with the book is I've broken it down into the word SMART. So set an example, make the rules, apply those rules, respect yourself, and teach in everything. And part of setting an example is looking at the way that your parents raised you and saying to yourself, what do I want to repeat and what do I want to avoid? And that confidence-building conversation that you have with your spouse is basically about deciding what your values are. What really matters to us? Does it matter that my bed is made every day? Does it matter that I get straight A's? Or does it matter that I'm truthful, I'm respectful, I take responsibility for my actions, and that I'm grateful for the things I have in my life? And if you look at those general rules or expectations that you can have of your children, then a lot of other things fall into place. And it becomes an easier litmus test than, oh my goodness, I've got to get them to school, and if they don't do this, you know, it's a much more general overview than the day-to-day anxieties that a lot of people carry about, will my kid be popular, whatever those things are. We worry about those, but that isn't really the core of what being a good parent is about. How do you break through the maze of all of the other things grabbing for your kids' attention, in particular the technology today, but how did you get your kids to listen?
Well, you've got to start, I mean, you got to start when they're pretty young and when you're really the only authority they know. And you have to be confident. You have to understand that you're 20 years older than they are, and you've had 20 years more life experience, and that makes you the authority. I have a metaphor that I use, which is if you got into a cab and you asked the driver to take you to the airport and the driver said, I don't know how to get to the airport, then you'd be crazy and nervous in the backseat of the cab. Well, your kids are in your cab and they need to believe you know how to get to the airport. And if you don't know how to get to the airport, they need to believe that you know how to find your way there. And while you're doing that, by the way, you're teaching them how to find their way to the airport. And so if you take that analogy even further, if you were driving your kids somewhere and they said, make this left right here. Well, you've lived in that town for 20 years and they've lived in that town for 3 years. And it's like they don't know where to turn or what to do. So that comes back to the confidence issue. I know how to get us where we're going. Believe in me, and I will get you there. And as they grow older and you adjust to what's going on in their lives in terms of what is appropriate behavior or what your expectations are, and I'm really talking now about teenage years and the distractions that you mentioned, the phone and the internet and all of that, you need to carve out this sort of period of time when there is none of that. We used to have no phones, no television, no anything at dinner time. When we sat down for dinner, it was dinner. That's what it was about. And we encouraged conversation in the family, and we promised everyone at the time that this was a privileged conversation and that anything said at the dinner table could not be said outside of our house.
Wow, now I know why they call you the common sense dad.
It seems pretty common sense to me, but I think a lot of people are afraid. Some of them are afraid their children won't love them. Some of them are afraid they don't know what they're doing. And I think that we are, by nature, the definition of what a parent is to our child. And if we remember to put the grocery cart away and we treat the checker at the market very kindly, then I think our children learn to do that, because I think most of what our kids grow up to be is who we are. And I've seen it happen with my own kids. My kids didn't go off in crazy rebellion. You know, one of them got an earring or something, but they come back. Even watching the children of my friends, those kids who got a little crazy, they come back. Some of them are working in their family businesses now. Some of them have become teachers, but they find their way. But I think that being a strong parent makes both your life and your child's life so much easier. If you can predict your child's behavior, it's just that much easier.
Wow. All right, we're going to run out of time here, but I know you wanted to talk a little bit about shaking off summer and getting your kids ready back to school, and this is the week for that.
Well, and I think you just have to be positive about the fact that school is an exciting place to go and that they're going to see their old friends or meet some new friends. And if they're new to the school, I think you have to encourage them to just be open and look at what's going on and you know, maybe make a friend in their first day. But, you know, back to school in September in general is a time for us all to refocus. And I think sometimes there's a little sputtering at the start of this, but it's important to say to your kids, look, I understand that you've had the summer off and now it's time for us all to focus. And, you know, I'm going to help you by setting aside this time to do your homework. You know, let me know if there's anything going on that's bothering you and stay open to that. But I also caution parents against projecting their own emotions onto their children. Ooh, you must be really nervous. Ooh, you know, I hope you're going to be popular. You know, it's up to the parent to believe in the child and script their perception.
All right, let me just say to our viewers and listeners, commonsensedad.com is the website, commonsensedad.com, if you want to talk to Richard or correspond with him. The name of the book is entitled Raising Children That Other People Like to Be Around. The title, I think, says it all. There's a picture of it there on the screen for those watching on the Dove TV. And I would assume it's available, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, at the stores?
Absolutely. Also at commonsensedad.com.
All right. Well, what one tip can you leave parents as we wrap this up? What would you like to tell parents?
Be confident, be open, and don't lose your common sense. If it doesn't seem to make sense to you, then there's something up.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 34, 30, 25, and 19. And the first three are boys, and the last one's a girl. And they are an absolute pleasure, all of them. They're hilarious.
Oh, that's great, because they'll be choosing your retirement home.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, Richard, you're a delight. Thank you. And what's next for you? You got another one coming out? I mean, you seem to be pretty passionate about this.
Yes, I have another one. It's sort of a prequel. It's about relationships, and that compromise is the currency of love.
Oh, give us a little bit. What are you saying there?
Well, I'm basically saying that there are ways for us to be able to live with each other and still maintain our dignity and release a little bit of our ego so that we can have a good relationship that ultimately we're modeling so that our children learn to have good relationships.
Wow, that's fascinating. All right, let me just share with you. It's called commonsensedad.com, and that's the website if you want to talk to Richard. And the book is entitled Raising Children That Other People Like to Be Around. I think you'll find it to be a tremendous resource. By the way, yesterday I was talking to Dr. Kevin Lehman. I'm sure you've heard of him. And he actually was saying exactly what you're saying here. I think we put too much into parenting. Let's just slow down, use some common sense. Would you agree with that?
I agree 100%. I think we overparent. We think about it too much. We overschedule our kids. We worry about them eating dirt. You know, that's like a good test of their immune system is they eat a little dirt every once in a while because they're kids.
All right, thanks for being with us, my friend, and let us know when the other book comes out so we can have you back, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
All right, see you around. All right, let me just again remind you, it's called Raising Children That Other People Like to Be Around. You may want to check it out if you're watching on theDove TV. There's a picture of it there on the screen. Let me encourage you to get a copy of it, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or look for it at the bookstores. Or you can order it through Richard's website, commonsensedad.com. All right, check it out. We'll see you next time on Focus Today.